Hi, everyone. I'm Anna. Welcome to Mr. Easy English.
And I'm Mark. We're really happy you're here with us today.
In this episode, we're going to listen to 3 different mini podcasts that will help you improve your English naturally, just by listening.
Each one has a different topic to keep your brain active and engaged.
The first topic is morning motivation, how to start your day with energy and a focused mind.
The second topic is building strong English habits, simple daily routines that help you improve fast.
And the third topic is real-life confidence, how to stay calm and confident when speaking English.
So sit back, relax, and let's begin.
Mark, have you ever wondered why some people study a language for years, but they still can't speak it fluently?
All the time. I see people who've studied English for 5, 10, even 15 years, but when they try to speak, it feels like their brain freezes. And it's not because they're bad at learning. The problem is something deeper.
Exactly. And I think the first reason is simple. People don't expose themselves to the sound of the language enough. They study grammar, vocabulary lists, textbooks, but they don't listen enough. You can't speak what you don't hear.
Yes, the human brain learns language by sound first, always. Babies don't start with grammar books. They listen for thousands of hours before speaking. But adults try to reverse the process and then wonder why they struggle.
Another problem is perfectionism. So many learners want every sentence to be correct. And because they want perfection, they don't speak at all. They stay silent, waiting for the perfect moment, which never comes.
Yeah, they want their English to sound like a native on day one. But fluency comes from mistakes, big mistakes, loud mistakes. If you're afraid of being wrong, you block the path to being right.
And here's something interesting. A lot of learners don't actually have a language problem. They have a confidence problem. They know the words, they know the grammar, but they don't trust their own mouth.
That's true. I've met people who understand almost everything, but can't make themselves speak. And when you ask why, they say things like, "My accent is bad. People will judge me. I don't want to sound stupid."
The funny thing is that nobody cares. Everyone who speaks a second language has an accent. It's normal. It's proof that you're brave.
I love that. Accent is a sign of courage, not failure.
Another huge reason people never reach fluency is this. They study English like a subject, not like a skill. Subjects live in notebooks. Skills live in real life.
Exactly. You can memorize 1,000 words, but if you never use them, they die. Memory is a muscle. If you don't move it, it gets weak.
And let's talk about something many people don't realize. Your brain doesn't keep language you don't emotionally connect with. If English is something you study only because you have to, your brain won't prioritize it. But if you connect it with things you love, music, movies, podcasts, conversations, it sticks.
Right. You need emotional glue, something that makes the language matter to you. That's why some people learn faster with games, some with stories, some with talking. The method doesn't matter. What matters is the feeling.
And you know what else stops learners? They keep changing methods too fast. 1 week app, yek hafte YouTube, yek hafte kitab. They never stay long enough with one system to see results.
Learning a language is like planting a tree. If you keep digging it up to check the roots, it dies. You need consistency, not constant restarts.
Yes, and speaking of consistency, most learners think 5 minutes doesn't matter. But 5 minutes a day for 6 months can make you more fluent than 3 hours once a week.
Because daily exposure resets the brain. It tells your brain, this language is important. Keep it active.
Another big issue. People learn too passively.
They listen quietly, read quietly, watch quietly, but they never open their mouth. Silent learning doesn't create speaking.
Exactly. Speaking is a physical activity. You need your tongue, your lips, your breath. If you don't train them, they can't help you.
And here's something many learners never hear. Fluency isn't about vocabulary. Fluency is about rhythm.
Yes, I always say, you don't need more words. You need smoother words. Fast thinking, fast transitions, fast reactions. That's fluency.
People think fluency means knowing everything, but fluency actually means using what you know easily.
And using it automatically, without translating, without overthinking.
But here's the good news. Anyone can reach fluency. Anyone. The only difference between people who succeed and people who don't is one group makes English part of their daily life, and the other group studies it like homework.
And homework dies when motivation dies, but lifestyle continues. That's why turning English into a daily habit is the real secret.
If someone listening right now feels stuck or feels slow, they should know that nothing is wrong with them. They just need to change the way they learn.
Small daily listening, small daily speaking, a little shadowing, a little reading, a little repeating. No pressure, no perfection, just consistency.
And most of all, don't be afraid of sounding imperfect. Your future fluent self is built from your imperfect present self.
Beautifully said, Anna. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah. If you liked this episode, make sure to like, share, and follow. It really helps us grow. And I'll see you in the next podcast and the next lesson. Let's go. You know, Mark, I've been thinking about something unusual. Why do so many people go through life without ever becoming their real selves? They live decades, but not as them. They act as who they think society wants them to be.
Yeah, that's true. It's almost like the world hands them a mask when they're young, and they just keep it forever. Some people never even question whether that mask belongs to them.
Exactly. And the saddest part is that many people don't even realize they're living someone else's story. They study what their parents expected, they work in a job they don't like, they choose hobbies that make them look normal, not happy.
I think one reason is fear of being judged. We're taught from childhood to fit in, not to stand out. If you express something unusual, people call you weird, dramatic, unrealistic.
Right. And the brain learns fast. It learns that hiding is easier than being authentic. But hiding has a cost, a huge cost. People end up with this quiet feeling inside, like something is missing, and they can't name it.
Sometimes you see a 40-year-old suddenly quitting their job, traveling, starting a new craft, or changing their life completely. People say, oh, they're acting crazy. But I think that's the moment their real self wakes up.
Exactly. It's not crazy. It's freedom. It's the first breath after years of holding it in.
You know, it's funny, we live in a time where everyone posts their life online, but almost nobody posts their real self. It's always edited, filtered, controlled, and that makes people feel even more pressured to hide.
And hiding creates a loop. When you hide, you feel disconnected. When you feel disconnected, you hide even more. And years pass, and one day you wake up wondering whose life you're living.
I once heard someone say, if you don't choose your identity, the world will choose it for you. I think that's true. People who never choose end up becoming copies of everything around them.
And do you know what's ironic? People admire authenticity. They admire the ones who dare to be different, but they're afraid to do it themselves.
Yeah, people love seeing someone bold, but they're scared to be bold. They love seeing someone honest, but they're scared to be honest.
You know what I think keeps people stuck? They wait for permission. Permission to start, permission to change, permission to be themselves. But nobody is coming to give that permission.
You're right. It's like people are waiting for some magical moment where everything becomes clear. But life doesn't work like that. Clarity comes after you start, not before.
And maybe the first step to becoming yourself is simply asking, what do I actually want? Not what others want, not what looks good, but what feels right.
And it doesn't have to be big. Sometimes your real self appears in small choices. The music you prefer, the ideas you think about, the lifestyle that feels natural.
If someone is listening right now and feels like they're not living their own life, I want them to know this. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just take one honest step. One small act that feels true to your soul. That's enough to start.
Because once you taste authenticity, even a small piece of it, you'll never want to go back to pretending.
Exactly. Life becomes lighter. Decisions become easier. Your mind becomes calmer. And you finally feel like you're home.
Beautiful way to put it. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and follow. It helps a lot. And I'll see you in the next podcast and in the next lesson. Let's go.
Mark, I've been reading some neuroscience studies recently, and something shocked me. The human brain is not naturally designed to learn a second language easily. It actually tries to block it at first.
Really? That's interesting. Why would the brain block something useful?
Because from the brain's perspective, a second language looks like noise, like something unnecessary. The brain tries to protect energy, so it prefers the familiar. When you start learning a new language, the brain says, "Why? We already have one. This is extra work."
So that explains why beginners feel tired after studying. Their brain is literally fighting them.
Exactly. And this is the reason many learners think they're bad at languages. They're not. Their brain is just doing what brains do, resisting change.
So how do we overcome this?
Through repetition, immersion, and emotional connection. The more your brain sees English every day, the more it says, okay, fine, maybe this is useful. That's when the real learning begins.
That makes me think about something. People often start learning English with excitement. Then, after 2 weeks, the excitement dies, and they think something is wrong with them.
Yes, but nothing is wrong. They just reached the resistance stage. The moment the brain says, this is hard, let's quit. Most people think this feeling is a sign to stop. But actually, it's a sign of progress.
So, the struggle is not a signal to stop. It's a sign you're rewiring your brain.
Exactly. When English feels difficult, that's the moment new neural pathways are forming. When it feels easy, nothing new is happening.
So, if it feels easy, you're probably not learning.
Pretty much. Another thing learners don't realize is that the brain hates uncertainty. And a new language is full of uncertainty. New sounds, new grammar, new rhythm. So the brain panics a little.
That's why people freeze when someone asks them a question in English. Not because they don't know, but because their brain freaks out for a second.
Exactly. That freeze moment is actually the brain switching languages, and it takes a second to adjust. It's like switching apps on an old phone.
So, the more they practice switching, the faster it becomes.
Yes, eventually it becomes instant. That's when fluency appears.